Hey, this is Kristen from KiwiboxDotCom, and we're about to take a first look at the new online RPG game, Wizard 101. So Wizard 101 is an elaborate 3D virtual world in which magic and sorcery come to life as players embark on a quest that involves a massive cast of good, evil, and frequently silly characters. Now, unlike a lot of online massive multiplayer games, a lot of them have mature ratings, but Wizard 101 does not. So anybody can really get in on the action and play. And what it does is it puts you in the fantasy role of a wizard apprentice at the Ravenwood School of Magical Arts. So it's kind of like your very own Hogwarts.
There's 7 different types of magic, and you have the elemental schools, which are external magics. They're fire, ice, and storm. Then you've also got the internal magics, which roughly correlate to body, mind, and spirit, and that's life, death, and myth. And then you've got one more school of magic, which is balance. And the balance school is interesting because it's not a specific type unto itself. It's more a combination of all of those. It's more manipulative, changing the rules of combat so that different types of magic are more or less useful against other types. So this is me running into combat now against a Croco guard. And from here I can basically cast spells, and what's different is, basically combat begins. I've got a timer telling me how long I have to choose my which card I want to play, and this is the hand that it draws out of the deck. So I create my deck before I ever get to this point. So if I decided I wanted to cast an imp, I pick the imp and then I pick the target, and then he gets to pick a spell against his target. In this case, he just chose to attack me. So I chose Imp, which is a pretty low-level spell, and I fizzled it, which is pretty unlucky.
So we can just basically go online and download Wizard 101?
You can, actually. In fact, the whole thing begins with just an 8 meg download. So you grab that. That takes about 2, maybe 3 minutes for most broadband users. At that point, you get into the game. You can do character creation, and you start making your first character. While you're doing that, while you're selecting your hair and your eye colors and picking out your outfit and picking your name and your class, we're downloading the tutorial. And then when you get into the tutorial, we start downloading the first area in the game. So the whole game ripples out like that. So it streams a lot like a browser would stream. The goal that we had as a design goal was to have that first initial download of about 2 minutes, and beyond that it would be seamless to the user. They'd just be in and playing, and they would never hit a situation where they would have to actually pause and wait for download. It happens every now and then, but generally speaking, for most players, unless they are zipping through the content, we can outpace them and stay ahead of them.
Okay. Are there any downloadable extras or anything like that?
There is, actually. So there's a high detail pack, and it's actually very easily accessed in the game. You just bring up the options menu, and at the bottom it says equipment, and it says low or high. If you click it to high, it'll immediately start downloading in the background.
So is Wizard 101 really a game that anybody can get into, even if you've never played an RPG game before?
We think so, and that's been really interesting for us during beta. Originally, we kind of expected that our market was going to consist mostly of kind of mid-range kids, so kind of 8 on the low end and maybe 14 on the high end. What we found is our low end was roughly correct. We go a little bit lower than that, but the spectrum on the top end is off the charts. We have grandmothers now that are some of our highest level characters. We have players who their previous gaming background was Minesweeper and Solitaire, and they've put in dozens of hours since beta started. So the pickup has been pretty amazing and really, really nice. As a designer, you go for a certain group, but you hope you'll expand and get a lot more. We found a lot of families are finding it as an interesting experience that they can play together and share during the course of summer. It's been really cool.
And when will it be available?
Third quarter this year.